बाप्पा मोरया गणपति बाप्पा मोरया सुख करता दुख हरता मेरा गणपति बाप्पा मोरया सुख करता दुख हरता मेरा गणपति बाप्पा मोरया. Devotees, let me say welcome to each and every one of you who are here this evening so far to take part in our second evening of Shiv Mahayagya. Those of you who were here yesterday, we installed our Shiva Murti, our Shivaji Murti, and tonight we continue with our Yagya. Let me say special welcome to my Pitaji, Umadutt Maharaj, and also to one who is no stranger to me and anybody in this country, Mr. Rudy Inder Singh, who is attached to the Industrial Court of Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to you, sir, and we're really happy to have you here this evening. And this evening, we have our Yagya. Katha will be done by our young Pundit, my eldest son, Pundit Keshav Maharaj, and our two shooters, Errol and Bernadette. And today is a special day in the life of Errol, which we will hear later on. But for now, again, let me say welcome to all of you, and I'll now pass over to our Vyas for this evening, my eldest son, Pundit Keshav Maharaj.
Bole Sri Umadutt Mahadeva ki Jai. So devotees, we have all gathered here tonight to join in glorification of the name of Bhagwan Shankar. So as usual, I ask all of you to please stable your minds, stable your bodies, as we begin with invocation. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari He Ram, He Ram, हमें दया करो. ओम गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. Om Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamana Mukura Sudar Varano Raghubara Vimala Yasha Jodaya Kapalachar Buddhihina Tanujanike Sumiro Pavana Kumar Bal Buddhi Vidya Dev Mohi Harahu Kalesha Vikar Siyapati Ramachandra Ji ki Jai Sharanam Ye Nath Mama Sankat Haru Hari. Om Sada Bhavani Dahini He Sanmukha Sri Ganesh Panch Deva Raksha Karo Sri Surya Brahma Vishnu Mahesh. Bole Sri Panch Devta ki Jai. Umadutt Mahadeva ki Jai. So devotees, we begin with our invocation of the different forms of divinity. We worship Gajanan Swami first. Pratham Puj, the first to be worshipped. Remember, as we embark on this spiritual journey, it is like a ladder. We start with Gajanan Swami, discriminative power. We move up to Durga Mata, Shakti, without which nothing can be. Move on to Bhagwan Shankar, Vairagya, Satnarayan Swami, Surajnarayan Swami, and we go on with our discourse. So I ask all of you, focus your attention on Gajanan Swami. Gajavadana Gananatha Natha Gauri Varatanaya Gunalaya Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gauri Varatanaya Gunalaya
Gauri Varatanaya Gunalaya
Gauri Varatanaya Gunalaya
Gauri Varatanaya Gunalaya
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Vidyadayak Buddhi Pradayak
Vidyadayak Buddhi Viparayak
Vidyadayak Vidyadayak Buddhi Pradayak
Vidyadayak Buddhi Pradayak
Siddhi Vinayak He Shubhadayak
Siddhi Vinayak He Shubhadayak
Siddhi Vinayak He Shubhadayak
Siddhi Vinayak He Shubhadayak
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha
Gauri Varatanaya Gunalaya
Gauri Varatanaya Gunalaya
Gajavadana Gananatha Natha Gajavadana Gananatha Natha Gajavadana Gananatha Natha Bole Sri Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. Devotees, we focus our attention over to Durga Mata, the Mother of the Universe. We say, Glory to you, Mother Durga, Mother of the Universe. I meditate upon you. My entire body is consumed by your love. Praise be to you, O Mother, giver of prosperity. O Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Durga, Jai Jai Ambe, Namo Namah. O Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Durga, Jai Jai Ambe, Namo Namah.
Jai Jai Durga Jai Jai Ambe Namo Namah
Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Durga, Jai Jai Ambe, Namo Namah.
Jai Narayani Jai Jai Durga Jai Jai Ambe Namo Namah
तेरा पावन सुमिरन करते अंतर में सुख बर आता रोम रोम में प्रेम तिहारा मन में भक्ति बिखर जाता जय कल्याणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
जय कल्याणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
मन अंतर में मंत्र बनो तुम जीवन में गुण जादो माँ जन्म जन्म के संतापों को तेजस से अपने जला दो माँ जय रुद्राणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
जय रुद्राणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
मंगल साथी देने वाले मन वांछित फल बरसाइए द्वार तिहारी हाके मैया कोई खाली नहीं जाता जय ब्रह्मानी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
जय ब्रह्मानी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
भजन हम निषेधन करते मन में जपते नाम विमल शरण परे तो एक सहारा मैया तेरा चरण कमल जयति शिवानी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
जयति शिवानी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय जय मैया नमो नमः So we focus, we keep our attention on Durga Mata. Kirtan, we join. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma.
जय माँ जय माँ जय जय माँ
Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma.
जय माँ जय माँ जय जय माँ
Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma.
जय माँ जय माँ जय माँ
Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma.
जय माँ जय माँ जय जय माँ
Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma. 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 Bole Sri Shakti Jagadamba Mata Ki Jai. So devotees, we focus our attention over to Bhagwan Shankar. This is a personal prayer, devotees. So concentrate on Him. Offer your prayers. Shower your love upon Him. And surely He will grant you your desires. O Lord Shiva, please have mercy upon me. Remove my unhappiness. You are the foundation of compassion, Lord. Please take away all my sins. The boat of my life is floundering in mid-ocean as sorrow envelops my being. The web of unhappiness fills my heart, Prabhu. Please guide my boat safely across. Om Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Shiva Shankara Daya Karo Dukha Haro Kripa Sindhu Kar करुणा निधि हमरे सगरे पाप हरो ओ दया करो शिव शंकर दया करो दुख हरो कृपा सिंधु करुणा निधि हमरे सगरे पाप हरो ओ दया करो शिव शंकर दया करो दुख हरो बीच भवन में नाव हमारी डोल रही दुख की जनकारी हृदय में बोल रही बम बम भोले नाच भक्तों की बम बम भोले नाच भक्तों की नैया पार करो ओ दया करो शिव शंकर दया करो दुख हरो पग पग पर विपदा के बादल छा रही झूठी जग की माया में भरमा रही त्रिलोचन संकट मोचन हे त्रिलोचन संकट मोचन विपचान हरो ओ दया करो शिव शंकर दया करो दुख हरो कृपा सिंधु करुणा निधि हमरे सगरे पाप हरो ओ दया करो शिव शंकर दया करो दुख हरो दया करो दुख हरो दया करो दुख हरो बोले श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। Devotees, when we pray, we are to assume a position where we are like the children and God is like that parent. Devotees, when we pray with a childlike innocence, when we sit in front of the divine with a childlike innocence, no malice, no hate, no desire, nothing, just simply adoring God for who it is, for who He is, blessings surely accrue. When we sit in front of this Bhagwan Shankar Murti, in front of Devi Mata, We say, "Oh Ma, Prabhu, I'm like a child. Please don't forsake me." Prabhuji, during this period of Shivratri, we surrender ourselves to you. We give ourselves to you. Prabhu, please take control of our lives. It is said in our scriptures, one of the surest ways to achieve liberation in this life is through bhajan, through kirtan. So for a moment, Sharakshar mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody, we join. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Raksha Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Rakshama.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Raksha Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Rakshama.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Raksha Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Rakshama.
Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Raksha Mam.
Om Namah Shivaya, Rakshama.
Bole Sri Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Now we shift our attention over to Satnarayan Swami, Sureshnaran Swami. Simple tune, listen and follow along. Satya Narayana Narayana Narayan.
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 Surya 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 Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Satya Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Satya Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Surya Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Surya Narayana Narayana Narayan.
Satya 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 Narayana Narayana Narayan. Shri Surajnarayan Swami Satnarayan Swami ki Jai. So devotees, tonight our discourse won't really be in the form of a story, more so a little bit of philosophy and how it pertains to our lives. Yesterday we installed this beautiful murti, this handsome murti of Bhagwan Shankar. So I found it fit tonight that we look at some of the symbolisms of Lord Shiva, a bit of his physical characteristics, and we'll deal with a little bit of the metaphysics, how it applies to us. So firstly, who is Shiva? I will start by saying Hinduism is a polytheistic religion, meaning we worship multiple forms of God. However, each and every aspect of these gods can be traced back to one form, Brahm. It is said from our scriptures, Brahm is a constant. You know, in maths, when you have a constant, it doesn't change. Nothing can change it. It is unaffected by anything. There is no beginning, there's no middle, there's no end. It is beyond the unknown. Brahm. Now, we are human beings, and at any given point in time, we are dominated by one of three modes of Prakriti, either Sattva, Rajas, or Tamas. Sattvic Prakriti, Rajasic Prakriti, or Tamas Prakriti. Ethical, psychological, or spiritual beings. Now, Brahm on its own is not affected by any of these Prakritis. However, when Brahm identifies with one of these properties, we say we get the Holy Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. When Brahm identifies with Sattvic Prakriti, Sattva, we have the personification of Vishnu Bhagwan. When Brahm identifies with Rajas, or action, we get Brahmaji, known as the creator. And when Brahm identifies with Tamas Prakriti, we get Bhagwan Shankar, Shiva. Now tonight, obviously our focus is on Bhagwan Shankar. So let us delve a bit into what Bhagwan Shankar symbolizes. Firstly, Shiva in the state where it identifies with Brahm, where Tamas identifies with Brahm, it is called the state of non-attachment, Vairagya or spiritual dispassion. It is motionless and is referred to as utter peace. Now there is no differentiation between Brahm on its own, but when these three combine, or when Brahm identifies with one of these three Prakritis, we get Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, better known as Gun Avatar. So the three, when they merge with Brahm, manifest into Gun Avatar. Now, everything in Hinduism is personified. Humans have a need for personification. We have a need for imagery. So when we look at Hinduism, Hinduism has a personification for every principle. It has a personification for every god. Now, I'd like to ask you all a question. I want you to picture nothing. Can we picture nothing? Can we picture something that is completely abstract? If I tell you, picture Shivaji. Now, we are all conditioned to know what Bhagwan Shankar looks like. But if you have no prior knowledge to Bhagwan Shankar, and I say, picture Lord Shiva, are you able to picture him with zero prior knowledge? This is why our Vedas, our scriptures, they give us descriptions. And humans, we use our creativity to bring forth what we know as Bhagwan Shankar, what we know as Devi Ma, what we know as the different forms of divinity. Now, there's what is referred to as the Brahma Prapanch. 5 important qualities that pertains to all of us: name, form, space, time, and causation. We need a name for something. We can't hold something abstract without a name. We need a name, we need a form to visualize, and that thing with a name and a form, whatever be it, occupies a point in space. We have time and we have causation. Causation is the relationship between action and a result, or better known as cause and effect. So all this Brahma Prapanch relates to the human being. Humans are psychological by nature. We have a need to satisfy our own cravings. Our own cravings in this context, mean our own cravings for divinity to understand the abstract. Now, let us look at some of the aspects of Bhagwan Shankar. When we see Bhagwan Shankar, he is often depicted as white in color. He has the jeta, the matted locks. Ganga is flowing from his head. He has sometimes 5 faces, 10 hands, depends on who created that form, which human created that form. So tonight I've decided we'll look at 5 aspects of Bhagwan Shankar, and this is not an interactive, but I ask all of you to engage in this discourse. Tonight we'll say we're building our Shiva. We start from a point of nothing, abstract, and based on what I explain to you, you build your own Shiva. Now, build it within a reasonable context, of course. Don't visualize Lord Shiva with Nikes and a bust-on Rolex. You don't do that. That's inappropriate. But you have your muritis for reference. So I ask all of you tonight, engage in it. This is not a story time. More rather, we are playing upon your psyche. So now we ask the question, why do I need to meditate on God? Each and every one of us is the divine embodied. We have an ultimate objective, which is to identify with Brahm. So, the first point, Lord Shiva is depicted as white. Now, why the color white? Well, let's look at a little bit of physics. When you take a white light and you shine it through a prism, you get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, Roy G. Biv, as we learned in our first year physics. And if you take all those colors and you shine it back through the prism, you get white light. Another point we can look at is Shivaji is what is referred to as the substratum, the base, from which everything emanates. Every service, we do something called Purnahoti. We say, Om Purnamidaha Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishite. We can look at this white as a state of completeness, untainted, just it is existing as it is, complete. Now, if you have something that is complete, not missing anything, and you take from it, will that completeness be lacking anything? If you add to completeness, would that completeness lack anything? The answer is no. Hopefully you said no. Answer is no. A state of completeness means exactly what it means. So from everything, it goes back into completeness. So too, the concept of white in relation to Bhagwan Shankar, that all-pervasive nature. Devotees, where is Bhagwan Shankar? Where is he not? In the Ramayana, it is stated Sri Ram is present in each and every atom of creation, similarly to Bhagwan Shankar. Once you're speaking about the divine, it is present in each and every atom of creation. So we need to understand and we need to gravitate towards these concepts. In our lives, we should look at religion, spirituality like a school system. Do we remain in preschool forever? Do we remain coloring our A's and playing with blocks forever? We don't. We move up from coloring, we learn addition, primary school. Then we learn our add maths, our pure maths. Well, we learn to add first. Then we learn how to manipulate numbers, our add maths, our pure maths. Then we move up into more abstract concepts. We replace some of the numbers with letters, understanding universal concepts, constants. So to our religion, so to our understanding of spirituality, of Hinduism. We shouldn't remain at one stagnant level. Life is always moving forward. So to our understanding, our knowledge, we always need to be evolving. We can't stay one place. And I will add, if you know you have to better yourself, if you know you have to study, if you know you have to become a better person, increase your knowledge, and you choose not to, that is pure ignorance. That is refusal to do something that you know to do. I'll leave it as that. Now, that's what the color white symbolizes, a state of completeness, all-pervasiveness. Now, when we look at Bhagwan Shankar, he is often seen in a meditative state, and he has 3 eyes, 2 physical eyes, and 1 eye at the center of his head. Sometimes the eyes are open, sometimes they are half open, half closed, showing he's neither in the world nor out the world. Now, believe it or not, every single one of us, we have 3 eyes. Do we know that? We have 3 eyes. However, majority of the time, 99.9% reoccurring of the time, we only see out of the 2 eyes, and we're barely good at that. Shivaji represents, he's what is known as a Yagya. He sees the past, the present, and the future. That 3rd eye represents something called higher perception, something that is inachievable to a human being who has been tainted by worldly desires. In order to really achieve higher perception, you need to be completely pure from young, growing up. And you need to have a blessed intellect. You need to have divine inspiration. However, we'll look at the past, present, future concept. Shivaji is known as a Yagya. He sees the past, the present, and the future. And they say you can run, but you can't hide. Human beings, we can run from each other. We can actually hide from each other. But can we hide from divinity? Can we hide from that all-pervasive form of divinity? We say Bhagwan Shankar watches over us. But does Bhagwan Shankar really watch over us? Does he have time to watch over us? That act of Bhagwan Shankar watching over us, that is present within ourselves. If I do something to Uncle Errol, maybe hurt his feelings, God forbid, I hurt his feelings, I can run, I can never talk to him again. But I know within myself that heinous act I committed of hurting somebody else. Similarly to what that all-pervasive past, present, future concept is. You can run, but you can't hide from yourself. Once you have a mind, once you're a human being, you will always be reminded of everything you do in life. Devotees, have you ever tried to run from a memory? Have you ever tried to run from your own memories? It's a horrible thing to do, you know. You're sitting down there, you're trying to be all calm and collected, but your own mind is eating away at you. That is what I'm speaking about here. You can't escape the Lord, yes, but you also can't escape yourself. Now, we are moving on. The matted locks or the jeta. Shivaji is depicted as having the matted locks, as you can see. And there's something what is referred to as the 10 pran vayus present within each and every one of us. 5 main pran vayus and 5 minor ones. Now, this pertains a little bit to the biological aspect of human beings. These 10 vayus, these 10 airs within us, they control the metabolic activities of the body. Firstly, the 5 main ones: pran, apan, saman, vyan, and udan. Pran, apan, inhalation, exhalation. Saman, which is the digestive air, or we call it the fire. Vyan, the all-pervasive air. And udan, the rising air. When we speak, it sits at our throat. These are the 5 main airs. Now, we have the 5 minor airs. Not EARS, but AIRS, the 5 minor airs. These 5 control the natural processes of our body. It's involuntary natural actions. So things like coughing, yawning, burping, all these stuff, these are controlled by the 5 minor airs. They are Nag, Kurma, Krikar, Dhananjaya, and Devdat. If you are interested in topics like these, I urge you all to please go do some research on it. It may seem boring now, but the more you dive into it, it becomes interesting, and there's nothing wrong in having knowledge. You may not use it immediately, but in times of distress, who knows? These stuff can come in handy for you. So the jeta represents the 10 vital airs present within each and every one of us, the metabolic activities. Now, we hear in stories many times, Bhagwan Shankar meditates for thousands of years. I'll ask you all a question. How long can you meditate for? 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes? Some of us, we are sitting here looking at me, but are you really focusing on what I'm saying? Are you really focusing on the concepts, listening to what I'm saying, summarizing it in your head, breaking it down into points, and actually applying it to your own lives while listening to me? It's not hard, it's sounding difficult, but these are techniques we can develop. The more you come to satsang, the more you put yourself in a position when knowledge is constantly being expelled to you, and you take it and you analyze it. So, meditation. Sometimes we sit, we meditate, but we are human beings. I can't relate it to anything else because we are not animals, we are not aliens, we are humans. We are controlled by emotions, we are controlled by circumstances, we are controlled by our own karmas. However, let us look at this meditative aspect. Sometimes in service, you sit down to meditate. Dad said, or Aja says, close your eyes, stable your mind, stable your bodies. You close your eyes, you're breathing in and out, controlling your breathing. Your belly starts to grumble. You get thirsty. You hear something, maybe a dog bark, car pass, a Porsche pass, let go of the exhaust, your head going so. Sometimes you open your eyes, you look next to you, somebody looking at you meditating. So, the meditative aspect, it is impossible for us to meditate for long periods of time because we are organisms. We are biological organisms, and the body produces waste matter. Devotees, when you're meditating and the calls of nature comes, you have to answer to the calls of nature. You can't sit down there playing a sage and then you're neglecting your own body. You'll go into sepsis and die, but we won't deal with that. The meditative aspect. The reason Bhagwan Shankar is able to sit for thousands of years meditating is because that jata, that representation of the jata, controls the 10 vital metabolic airs present within each and every one of us. That's the metabolism, the natural processes of the body. When Bhagwan Shankar is showing us that when we have control over these 10 airs, he himself has full control over those 10 airs. That is why he's able to meditate for such long periods of time. But what we could do, there's a solution. What we could do, practice a little bit every day. You know, if you use the bathroom every 2 hours, just try and hold back a little bit, maybe an hour, 45 minutes, but don't hold it in for too long. Try and build that self-control. The reason we come to temple, the reason we do things with our hands, all these sacrifices here. Don't you hear when Dad, all the senior pundits are reading? They say sages for thousands upon thousands of years, they perform actions but they don't get darshan. When we come to temple, we offer ghee into the fire, we put flowers, we do all this stuff. Yes, one aspect, we're moving towards that ultimate goal of God realization, but it's more a disciplinary act. When we sit to do puja, Auntie Bernadette and Uncle Errol, you all are sitting here. You can't just get up and go do whatever you feel. You have to sit here calm, collected. You have to stable your mind. Listen to me. You have to sit and discipline yourselves. That is why we are here today. That's why you all are sitting listening to me, the viewers on our live stream on IETV. The act of listening itself is a discipline. I think the statement is 90% of learning or something comes from discipline. I don't really listen when Dad's talking. But you need to sit and you need to listen and you need to discipline yourself. One part, yes, controlling the metabolic activities. The second part, that act of discipline, where we hold our temptations, need to go to the bathroom, drink water. We hold all that in and we focus on God. You see, we focus on God. Now, That's what the jata represents. Restraint and control. Discipline. Now, we move on to what is inside the jata. What is inside the matted locks. Now, if you look at the murti present here, you'll see a little carving of Ganga Ma. Or look at the curtains. Ganga Ma is seen flowing from the jata. In Hindu mythology, the story goes, Ganga Ma once came down from the heavens with an incredible force, and the only person who could have subdued that force and restrain it is none other than Bhagwan Shankar. So he opened his jata, he grabbed the Ganga Ma, and he held her right there. That is the mythology. But now we look at what that means. What does Ganga Mata represent? Although Ganga Ma exists physically, maybe in India, from the Himalayas running down, Ganga represents the stream of devotion. We can go on many pilgrimages. We can go take a duck in Ganga Ma, Triveni, whatever holy rivers there are. But if there's no devotion present within you, then are we really taking that bath? Taking a duck in the Ganga, taking a bath in the Ganga, symbolizes taking a bath in devotion. Bhakti. Pure bhakti means an unselfish, unadulterated love for God. I add a love that gives everything and expects nothing in return. We need to take a duck in the river of bhakti, in that stream of bhakti, better known as Ganga. So, as I mentioned before, the fastest way in Kali Yuga to achieve that ultimate goal, to achieve bhakti, is through glorification. Dimika dimika dim damaru baje prema magana nachat bhola.
Dimika dimika dim damaru baje prema magana nachat bhola.
Dimika dimika dim damaru baje prema magana nachat bhola.
Dimika dimika dim damaru baje prema magana nachat bhola.
Prema magana nachat bhola. Prema magana nachat bhola.
Prema magana nachat bhola. Prema magana nachat bhola.
O prema magana nachat bhola. Prema magana nachat bhola.
Prema magana nachat bhola. Prema magana nachat bhola.
Everybody, Bambola Shiva Bambola, Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Bambola Shiva Bambola. Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Balachandra Shira Ganga Laharat Hat Babhutan Ko Gola. Balachandra Shira Ganga Laharat Hat Babhutan Ko Gola. Dimika dima damaru vaje prema magana nachat bhola.
Dimika dimika dema damaru baje prema magana nachat bhola.
Sringi nadha bajavat gavat lakte rahyo bhagali jhola. Sringi nadha bajavat gavat lakte rahyo bhagali jhola. Bambola Shiva Bambola, Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Bambola Shiva Bambola. Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Dimika dimika dima damaru baje prema magana nachat bhola. Prema magana nachat bhola. Prema magana nachat bhola. Bambola Shiva Bambola, Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Bambola Shiva Bambola. Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Nagapanana so kadata arati deva deva gati anamola. Nagapanana so kadata arati deva deva gati anamola. To Bambola Shiva Bambola, Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Bambola Shiva Bambola. Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Dimika dimika dima damaru vaje prema magana nachat bhola. 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 Bambola Shiva Bambola, Bambola Shiva Bambola. Bambola
Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Chatabola.
Maganana Chatabola.
Bambola Shiva Bambola.
Bambola Shiva Bambola.
O Prema Maganana Chatabola. Bambola Shiva Bambola. Bole Shri Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. So devotees, our last point for tonight, Bhagwan Shankar is referred to as many names, but one of the most popular names is Nagavadana, the one who bears the snakes, the serpent. Now the concept of the serpent has different interpretations, and the first one I'd like to look at is what is referred to as the cycle of time in years. Bhagwan Shankar is also known as Mahakal, the great controller of time. He is beyond time, therefore, he is timeless. That is the first, or one of, and the simplest interpretation of what the serpents mean. Lord Shiva adorned in the serpents, timelessness. Secondly, we go a bit deeper. There's what is referred to as the individual ego, and there's what is referred to as the cosmic ego. The serpent can be identified as the individual ego, the I, the negative I. And Shiva, he can be represented as the cosmic ego. Now when we say the individual ego, the serpent, if someone is very egotistical, very self-centered, they behave in a very annoying way. They behave in a very negative way that creates pain for others, creates pain for themselves. We leave it as that. The serpent, individual ego. But now, Shivaji represents the cosmic ego, that higher being of oneself. We say we don't kill the ego, much rather, we transform it. If we look at the different forms of divinity, we can all see they have their respective vehicles. Gajanan Swami has the mouse, Durga Ma has sometimes the lion or the tiger. We see the animals there. Some people say they sit on animals. And very unfortunately, a select group of individuals present within the Hindu community say they kill the animals. But they don't kill the animals, much rather they subdue it. Bhagwan Shankar rides upon the bull, Nandi. We say that represents lust. Bhagwan Shankar riding upon the bull represents Bhagwan Shankar subduing that very destructive quality within humans, which is called lust. But we are not dealing with that right now. We are dealing with the fact that Bhagwan Shankar wears the serpents, but he does not hurt them. He proudly bears the serpents on him. So, how does that relate to us? Bhagwan Shankar wearing the serpents can symbolize we give ourselves to Bhagwan Shankar, that cosmic ego subduing the individual ego. Instead of saying I, focus your attention on Bhagwan Shankar. Be proud to be adorned on the body of Bhagwan Shankar. That's the second point on what the snakes represent, the serpents. And now, let us get even deeper into this. You're stretching into some serious metaphysics here. The serpent is what is known as Kundalini Shakti, an infinite power present within each and every one of us. But it is dormant. Bhagwan Shankar, the substrata from which everything emanates, an infinite power of immeasurable capacity also emanates from it. Devotees, who is Kundalini? Or, what form of divinity deals with Kundalini? Does anyone know? Durga Mata. The first aspect, Kundalini emitting from that substrata, Bhagwan Shankar, can be seen as Shiv Shakti, Brahm Shakti, Shiv Parvati. Now another way we can look at this, every one of us has 7 main energy centers, chakras. We hear about this time and again. For those who are not aware, from the spine going all the way up to the top of the head is 7 chakras: Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipurna, Anahat, Vishuddha, Yagya, and Sahasrara. Kundalini Shakti resides in what is called as the Muladhara chakra, the base of the spine, dormant. Now, when we do devotion, or I should say first, it is recommended by scriptures that when we are trying to tap into Kundalini Shakti, this form of Kundalini Shakti, we say we should approach it or awaken it very gently. We don't aggressively awaken Kundalini. If you notice when you do Kirtan session, Paramacharya does Kirtan, Dad does Kirtan, when you really tap into that energy, you go within yourself, you shut off everything. You are not affected by any environmental external circumstances. You notice that you begin to feel weightless. Your paws begin to raise, the hairs on your body start to stand. You begin to feel a sense of peace within you while glorifying. This is what is known as awakening Kundalini Shakti. Now, just a quick note here. This power of Kundalini represented as the serpent. It is said the serpent is in 3.5 coils with its tail in its mouth. So that's just a fun fact for you to visualize. We love visualization as human beings. So, when we are doing devotion, we need to calmly, step by step, awaken Kundalini. If you don't understand what I'm saying, let me put it like this. You all are, or I'm giving you the role today as nuclear engineers. You have one task for the day to go turn on the nuclear reactor. Now, I'm not sure how eccentric individuals are, but common sense will tell you, you don't run in and start poking at the buttons like a caveman. You follow the procedure as built by the engineers to turn on that nuclear reactor. Kundalini Shakti represents a power of immeasurable capacity. And the best way I can put it, a nuclear reactor, something that contains incredible amounts of energy, enough to power cities if developed on enough. We have to tap into that step by step. We don't rush into it. We don't aggravate it. We don't beat up and jump up and such things of that nature. We leave it like that. That is why when you do bhajan kirtan, jago ma, not necessarily waking up Durga ma, but awakening that Kundalini Shakti, slowly, gently, step by step. And when that Kundalini energy is dormant within all of us, then we are said to be very worldly minded. We are fully present in this world, and we are affected by everything in this world. That's what it means to be worldly minded. But when Kundalini Shakti is arising in us, then we start to achieve that state of Vairagya. So earlier I was mentioning our religion. When we do devotion, it's like a ladder. We gradually climb up until we reach the top. We start with Gajanan Swami, discriminative power. That ability to differentiate. Then, move up into Durga Mata, Ma Kundalini. We awaken it. We awaken that sense of devotion, bhakti. And then, and only then, when we transcend the worldly mind, then we can achieve that form of Vairagya, spiritual dispassion. And finally, Vishnu Bhagwan, Satnarayan Swami, enlightened intellect, sattvic in nature. So from a state of differentiating right from wrong, straight up to a sattvic nature, this is the purpose of devotion. It takes us on a journey. So, let us recap. We spoke about Bhagwan Shankar being white in color. We spoke about the Jata, Ganga Mata flowing from the Jata. And we spoke about the snakes, the serpents, adorned on Bhagwan Shankar, and the 3 eyes. If I had to sum this up in one sentence, I would say we need to reach a certain state of all-pervasiveness where we are unaffected by the delusions of this world, the duality of this world. Only when we are somewhat free or starting to separate from the dualities of this world, then the stream of devotion can flow from us. You notice Gangama flows from the head, the mole of the head. Only then, when we achieve a certain point of enlightenment, it doesn't have to be some great, big feat, big whatever. You can start at home. Start by saying your Gayatri mantra every day. Maybe offer your gel. Maybe start doing practices. Say Sitaram to somebody. Start small. You don't have to start big. And eventually, all those actions accumulate. If you study 5 minutes every day, in a week time, you'll be better off than you were. So start small, and eventually you'll work yourself up to a position where these things become natural. You'll find yourself glorifying more. Unprovoked, you'll start doing things of sattvic nature, maybe picking flowers. You have the desire to glorify. You have the desire to do havan. All these qualities develop within us. So all in all, Hinduism personifies the principle of Shiva, Vairagya. It develops within all of us. I gave you all the symbolisms today, so hopefully you are building your Shiva as you go along. And I'll leave you with this. When you have control over your body, the stream of devotion flows. If you don't have control over ourselves, it is impossible for devotion to develop. It all starts with self-discipline. You notice how it tied back into discipline? Everything in this life requires some form of discipline. Whether it's in your family lives, whether it is in school, whether it is in work, it doesn't matter. Discipline is there. I'm in the student stage of life, so I can't really speak about householder, or I can't really give you experience based on being a householder, but I can tell you from my experience being in school, when those subjects really beaten down on you, there's nothing, not even God can save you. You need discipline, you need self-motivation, you need that ability to sit down and work unaffected. It's okay to have music, don't worry. It's okay to have music, it's okay to have things getting you through. But I'm telling you, sometimes during exam times, that work, you feel like the wall's closing in on you when you're studying. Nothing helping, you're praying, but the work getting worse, nothing sticking. You have to find a comfortable balance in between that self-discipline, spirituality, and through that alone, you're able to get really far in life. So, this is my message for tonight. Before I move on, before we do anything, let us take a moment, glorify Bhagwan Shankar. We say Bhagwan Shankar is like that light within all of us, that untethered jyot. We need to keep that light lighting. We need to keep that light of spirituality lighting within each and every one of us in order to make it anywhere in life. Without spirituality, life becomes obsolete. You're like a brick. You can't do anything. So, focus your minds on Bhagwan Shankar. Let us glorify him. Antar Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo Akhanda Jyoti Namo Mama Jivan Jyoti Namo Antarayami Namo Jai Sadguru Shiva Namo Antara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo
Antara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo
Antara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo
Antara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo
Akhanda Jyoti Namo Mama Jivan Jyoti Namo Sadguru Shiva Namo.
अंतरयामी नमो जय सद्गुरु शिव नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
अंतरयामी नमो जय सद्गुरु शिव 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 नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
जय सद्गुरु शिव नमो जय सद्गुरु शिव नमो बोले श्री उमापति महादेव की जय. So devotees, tonight we have sitting here two individuals who are very near and dear to me, Uncle Errol and Auntie Bernadette. Uncle Errol is celebrating his 75th birthday today, so huge congratulations on that milestone. A round of applause. Like I said, these two individuals are very near and dear to me. Auntie Bernadette always shows me respect, is always kind to me, and I'm eternally grateful for that. And Uncle Errol, a very young, vibrant, handsome member of society. These two individuals are always on a path of devotion, always in temple, always supporting the temple, always praying. So I can't really give you anything materially right now, but what I can give you is that gift of wisdom, that gift of knowledge. And I ask that Bhagwan Shankar, Durga Mata, they shower their unbenign blessings upon you too. May you achieve everything you want to achieve this life. May you always be in that path of spirituality. May you always be grounded, and may you always be devoted to the feet of them. Bole Sri Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai.
So we have firstly my Pitaji, Pandit Sunat Maharaj, who is the godfather, the guru, and also the Aja of my two sons. So firstly I will call upon them to give his blessings, and then we have his uncle, Pandit Jai, who will also give him his blessings. And here we have again another, as I mentioned earlier, a very important person, Mr. Rudy Inder Singh, who I guess is a very close associate with Errol. I go to say Keshav. With Errol, I know he will say on behalf of the family. So firstly, I pass over to my Pitaji, Pandit Sundat.
Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Sudari Gambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Om Namah Shivaya. Tonight, I only have one thing to say. In Ramayana it is written that when a Shishya commits a sin, the Guru had to carry half. My question is, I don't really have an answer for that, but I'll wait one day to hear it. What about when the Shishya brings blessings, do something to please the Guru, like tonight? I wonder what the Guru get out of this. And if somebody could tell me that, I will say the eyes have it. So let us try to understand that Keshav, I'm not going to say any more, because what I'm going to say here, everybody knows that's the truth. When it comes to Keshav, I stand accused. So, and it is, I don't care how I try to deny it, right? Nobody believe it, right? But when it comes to Keshav, and I only call that name, oh God, it's Keshav he's talking about, right? So let me stay quiet, and Keshav, beta, I want you to know that, and you know it. Don't mind we are talking 11 o'clock in the night. But it's all because of the love and what we could never do without each other. And I hope and pray that Lord Shiva keep blessing you so that you will continue doing what you're doing here as eloquent and as practical and plain as you have done here. Bole Umadutt Mahadeva ki jai.
Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. We are very, very proud. Keshav, we address you as Vyas tonight. Tomorrow, Muni, your brother will be Vyas. And you see that, as senior Pundits and your Guru and your Acharya here, your father is here. You make all of us feel very proud. When you Janev, you practice He Shankar Anandadata. What did you ask Bhagwan for? Gyan, knowledge, understanding, and to remove immediately all your doubts, all your ignorance. And today we see, just like in Naimi Sharan, we see Shaunak Rishi, Suktaji, all of them assemble. And they were very young. They were very young. You want to know if they're very young boys like yourself. And in this environment, you have given us grace of Lord Shiva and his work. Shiva is an uplift when we have fallen. He is called Jagatpati. And today, you have uplift all of you. That's simply and humble as you are. You have brought your message out to all of us that today we could understand the purpose of being in Shiv Puran Yagya and being in this Yagya Shala. So may Bhagwan continue to bless you, that you will uplift others, and may Bhagwan continue to grace you with long life and fulfillment. Om Namah Shivaya Shantaye Shambhave Shambhave Namaha Videshwar Namastubhyam Bhuteshwar Namastute Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahi Mahadevaye Dhimahi Tanno Rudraye Prachodhayat Om Namah Shivaya Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityuramukshямam Amritat Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya. Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai Sharanam.
Peter J. of the spiritual head of the Bhakti JYOTI Mandali, Pundit Umadutt Maharaj, and of course the spiritual head, Pundit Umadutt Maharaj and his Dharmapatni, and the two young Pundits who are here tonight, Pundit Keshav, who have led us in the second night of tonight's Shiv Puran Yagna. And of course, when I came in, his young brother was conducting during the Bedi Puja. Let me say Sitaram indeed, and it is a pleasure for me to have accepted the invitation when I got the invitation from Bernadette, indicating or inviting me and my family to this evening's satsang. I was taken aback in terms of the purpose of this evening's celebration or the landmark occasion. And many of you may ask why I am here also. Because there are persons who are seated in the audience who are probably more qualified to speak about Errol more than my good self. I see his sisters, Grace and Linda. Grace and Linda, they are here. And of course, I see also members of the extended family, the nephews who are very close to me, in the Stefan, and I'm looking for Jason. And Jason's children, Dane and Daniel, who from time to time they grace our home. But I also see Errol's dear friend, Mr. Sinat, and his Dharmapatni who are here. And he is probably more qualified to speak about Errol in relation to their years of youth. And when I say youth, in terms of growing up and so on, in that great community of Karani. Because when I came and I sat next to Pandit Somdat, he reflected and he could have told me where the house was located, and when he used to come and he said to me that he made the sharp turn or the bend on the corner to come to Karani to do prayers for Errol's late mother. So tonight, as we reflect on him, we reflect on his late mother, who I also know as a young child, a little child. And many of us who grew up in Karani, the name Ahoy, I do not know, but a shop existed, a business place existed on that compound. And in that little community of what is known Karani, there was three shops. The Alam shop, Ahoy, and then the other one, I know of the shop, but I'm trying to reflect on the name or recollect the name at this point in time. And Errol was always known as the Chinese boy in Karani. And he had this, what we would call when you look at him, this fair complexion, as we would say, the Chinese, the white boy in the community. And when you look at Grace and Linda, they also have that complexion. And like all things being equal, he was an integral part of the community of Karani, just like any young boy, football, cricket on the streets. And then when he got married to Bernadette, he left the community of Karani. But he was also, from time to time, always visiting and returning. And when he returned, he was always take the opportunity and time to interact with the people of Karani. This is what I can reflect and recollect about him. And very rooted in his Dharma and his religion, because I'm sure Mr. Sinat could reflect, I was very young at that time. I think I was in primary school when that Yagya was conducted in Passad Street in Karani at the Ganpat's residence. Unfortunately, Keshav is not alive today. His journey was recalled he was recalled from this earthly existence over the last couple of months, but that Yagya was held under the spiritual guidance of the late Dharmacharya of Trinidad and Tobago, Pandit Krishna, and I think Pandit Pona, and I'm trying to recollect, and Pandit Jaikaran, Vidya Jaikaran. So he has a very deep sense of roots in Sanatan Dharma, and this is something that has continued to be with him throughout his existence, and that sense of union with Bernadette, because I can speak about Bernadette in the context of when I was in charge, well, in all my incarnations at the All Trinidad Sugar and General Workers Trade Union as the education officer, the general secretary, and the president general Bernadette was an employee of Associated Brands Industries Limited. She was a union officer, and we interacted, and I would always inquire about Errol and his well-being. And as life would have it, Errol also knew my wife, because he used to buy food from her and her father's business establishment at the roundabout in Point Lisas when he was an employee of Universal Foods Limited. Errol, unfortunately, tonight she's actively engaged at the temple in Karani. It's the second night of Shiva Parasram Yagya also at the Karani Hindu Mandir, and she has sent her blessings to you in terms of your continued well-being in life. So we reflect on him not only as in the context of his immediate and extended family, but someone whom continues to share a strong bond with all members of his family in the context of Arangwes, in the context of Karani. And we pray tonight that having reached this very landmark and significant occasion in his life, that Bhagwan will continue to bless him. It is said that when you are blessed with 70, you are indeed blessed from the Almighty. And he has gone beyond 70. And when you look at him tonight, I think that you think that he will continue to go beyond. He looks very youthful, he looks very agile, and he looks depart in terms of continuing to be part and parcel of his physical and spiritual existence. So tonight I feel very pleased, I feel very honored to be here as we celebrate and we give value to the existence of someone from the great community of Karani. I always say that that village of Karani has have given birth and to very outstanding persons. And when you do the history of that community of Karani, you would know the very distinguished persons. I can stand here tonight and speak ad lib about the history of Karani, but time will not permit me. But I pray Bhagwan blessings upon him and Bernadette and the entire family, the Ahoy immediate and extended. And during this auspicious period of Mahashivratri, may Shiva Bhagwan continue to bless each and every one of you so that your years of existence can continue to be beyond the year 2026. Bhagwan's blessings to each and every one of you. Errol, Shubh Janamdin, Siddharam, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rudy Inder Singh. And devotees, on my own behalf, I would also like to express a few thoughts about Errol and, Bernadette, but mostly Errol. Now, those of you who know Errol, ever since SWAHA was formed, Errol was an integral part of the organization. And just to recall, Bernadette and Errol joined the Sukh Shanti Bhakti Mandali under the guidance of my late uncle, Pundit Parmanand Prasad, who has departed in Motel Coil now. But in those days, we were at the 3rd Street, Bernadette, El Sikoro, where we carried on our services there. And it's from that point that both Errol and Bernadette, they got involved with Sukh Shanti Bhakti Mandali as a branch of SWAHA, and an extension, SWAHA on its whole. And from then to now, they have never left the organization. After that, devotees, we moved on, etc. And then we, under the guidance of Pandit Paramanan, we built what is referred to now as the Sukh Shanti Bhakti Mandali that exists in Warner Street, St. Augustine. Now, just to make mention about Errol, that from the very foundation, I would say from the very first block of Sukh Shanti Bhakti Mandali, Errol was involved. Then we have others like Hanuman, we have Renal, and others were there. But today we're speaking about Errol. So from the very, very foundation of Sukh Shanti Bhakti Mandali, that branch of SWAHA, Errol and Bernadette, they were involved. And there was nothing that had to be done in that temple, from building, from toting dirt, toting blocks, cutting bamboo, the Billy shed first, Bernadette, remember the shed right in front? Bernadette, Errol and all them was the men were responsible for that shed. We started there, cutting bamboo, fixing the shed, then moved to the back, cleaning the back, cutting the grass, waist high water in the mud, right? All of these things were involved in the construction of Sukh Shanti. And one thing I must admire about Errol, that, we always say that you believe in something and it will change. That's a very, very important point. In life, you believe in something and it do not change. Errol and Bernadette, but Errol had a firm belief in the teaching of Pandit Brahmanan. And I know for a fact that where he is today is because of the guidance of Pandit Brahmanan. Whatever he would do, put them under their vrat, temple activities. Plenty of people would say that, when they go to the temple, strong by the bedi, had to pray, had to do job, all these sort of things. Errol was not really a person like that. Errol was a Karma Yogi, Mr. Rudy. Karma Yogi means a man of action. Where they would be, service be going upstairs, downstairs. They'll be preparing, making prasad, cleaning, all of these things. So you have different types of yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. Right? But he was a Karma Yogi, a karma, one of action. That whatever had to be done in the temple, they would take charge of it. And Pandit Brahmanan had a confidence in them, a belief in them, that he didn't have to worry about anything. He knew that when they were in charge, himself and other members of the men of that temple, together with some of the ladies, when he left them in charge, he knew everything will be done. And I must say, up to today, even though he's not here again anymore, they didn't give up Sanatan Dharma. They didn't give up religion. They didn't give up temple. Up to today, Errol is sitting here, celebrating his 75th birthday. I told him today, happy 57th birthday. He said, who tell you that boy? I said, well, I hear somebody say 57. I said, you're looking like 75. But the point about it, why is that to live 75 years? It's not just by chance, As Mr. Rudy said, good mind, good thinking, good attitude. All of these things make an individual. Not how much money you have, not how much land you have. All those things are good. But more than anything else, to make an individual look like this is the attitude of life. This is what we refer to as true spirituality, the virtues of life, and this is what Errol has. There's nothing you can ask Errol to do, and he will tell you no. He might tell you, I can't come now, but I'll come. Whenever we have any Yagya, etc. here, he together and all, they'll come put up all the lights. Well, I probably light myself this wrong, I get a brick. I just one. I still haven't overwork him. But both of them will come and run all the lights without asking for anything. Whatever material is required, they'll buy it and bring it. Because why? They look at that as Parupakar. What is Parupakar? Service to community, service to humanity, service to mankind. And this is how the sort of person that Errol is. So today, Errol, I would say, on behalf of myself, Jaya, my two boys, happy birthday. I know you have become very close to our family. You are close to all of the members of the organization, but you are very close to our family, our temple. And all we can do is really pray that our Lord and Master, Bhagwan Shankar Durga Mata, and I know you're Hanuman Baba Bhakt. So I say, Pavana Putra Bajrang Bali, give you that strength that is required, that you live many, many more years. But you don't only want you to live many, many more years, many, many more years in health, in strength, in all that is prosperous, all that is good. And at this age of 75, according to what Vyas mentioned, there are 4 stages: Brahmacharya, Grihasti, Vanpras. Now you're in Sannyas, 75 and above. That don't mean they say give up all the family and thing. You still have to run up and down, drop the grandchildren in school and pick them up and let her take care of them and thing. You still have that responsibility. But what it really means is that the thinking should transcend. That there should be more in the part of spirituality. 75 and above. They refer to as sannyas. So at this point in time, you're in the world but not of the world. What it really means that you try to focus your attention more in the path of divinity. As I say, you continue doing what you have to do. So to you, I want to say happy birthday. And you have a very good companion in Bernadette, a woman of straightforward words. And a full stop. I'll put a full stop right here. I ain't going further than that. Because I might say something out anyway. Well, Bernadette, I think Bernadette is a perfect match for Errol. This is my opinion. Errol is who he is because of Bernadette. And maybe Bernadette is who she is because of Errol. I don't know. But the point about it that both of them, we say Brahm Shakti, Durga Shiva, Parvati, Lakshmi, Vishnu. This is the companion between both of you. And you really complement each other. So to you, Errol, I want to say happy birthday. For myself, my family, and all members of SWAHA Bhakti Jyoti Mandali, and an extension, the entire of SWAHA. Okay? So I think at this point in time, who is that? Okay, Alicia. All right, Alicia, one of the daughters of Bernadette. I think she has something to say, and then we'll proceed with our. So in the meanwhile, what is done, we'll prepare preparation for the final Havan.
Sitaram, everybody. Don't expect a perfect speech, because this is the first time I'm doing something like this. Don't touch me. Dad, happy birthday. Happy 75th birthday to the best dad in the world. If it weren't for you, your love, guidance, and unwavering support, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here today. Happy 75th birthday, Daddy. Today I celebrate not just your birthday, but the incredible man you are. My protector, my provider, and the rock of our family. Dad, I look up to you in so many ways, and I'm thankful to have you in my life. Wishing you a very happy 75th birthday. I celebrate not just your birthday, but the incredible man. I just say all of that. Oh gosh. Dad, this is coming from my heart. I can't express into words how much you have done for me and my family personally. Everything, oh my God, just getting a little emotional here, and I just want to thank you for everything you have done for us. On behalf of me and my family, Sabrina and her family, Mommy, thank you very much. Can never ask for a better father, a better everything. I love you. And I always will.
Thank you very much, Alicia. And I think what you have said in those few words is better than a long speech you mark there. So it's always better from the heart. And whatever you have said is from the heart. And this is exactly how Errol is. So I think this is about it. And I just want to make one remark again. Today we have two of our members of our family, two of the most senior members of my father-in-law's side, the Nana of, the father of Jaya, Keshav Agni Nana, Auntie Puya, and Uncle Tony. I think on Friday she celebrated her 85th birthday, and Uncle Tony celebrated his 85th birthday. So to both of you, we say happy birthday, and you cannot spend a birthday in a better place than this. And they are the eldest existing family of my father-in-law, Auntie Puya and Uncle Tony. And you come regular to our temple, and we appreciate it very much. Okay? So all in all, blessings to all of you. Okay, just, all right, come. There's only one Zimango with 75, so I'll bet again.
Good night, Sitaram. Assalamu alaikum. I see in Mr. Mandali. I just want to wish Uncle happy birthday. I always say that if I didn't have a father, he was the closest thing that I have to a father. Even when I'm moving, just continuing from what you said, he's a man of action. He puts up all my curtain rods, everything like that. Any plumbing issues, he would come and fix it. Last week, he put up a clock for me. I bought the clock 4 years ago, and my wife was watching me for the last 4 years. I bought the clock and telling me he needs to come now and put up the clock, and he did. So I know he will live for 75 more years. I think it's the Chinese blood in him. Chinese people tend to live forever. So I just wish him health and strength and God's richest blessings.
Thank you very much. Now we perform a final Havan, after which we move straight into the final Arti and conclusion. So I'll pass over to Pundit Keshav, who will do a Havan for this evening.
So devotees, we join in Havan. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Gauri Mata Swaha. Om Sri Prithvi Mata Swaha. Om Sri Kalsa Devta Swaha. Om Sri Panchlukpal Devta Swaha. Om Namah Chandikaya Swaha. Om Sri Mahalakshmi Mata Swaha. Om Sri Mahasaraswati Mata Swaha. Om Krim Kali Mata Swaha. Om Sri Gayatri Devi Swaha. Om Hrim Shashi Devi Swaha. Om Sri Tulsi Mata Swaha. Om Sri Sarva Devi Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Sita Ramachandraya Bhyo Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Radha Krishnaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Hanumantaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Suryari Navgraha Devta Swaha. Om Sri Ishta Devta Swaha. Om Sri Gram Devta Swaha. Om Sri Asthan Devta Swaha. Om Sri Vastu Devta Swaha. Om Sri Kul Devta Swaha. Om Sri Tantiskuru Devta Swaha. Om Sri Sarva Devta Sarvadevi Bhyo Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Anansurupaya Brahmane Namaha Swaha. Final time. Om Sri Guruve Namaha Swaha. Please all stand as you take part in Purnahuti. You have the coconut? Okay, we'll take up the coconut. Concentrate on Bhagwan Shankar. Om Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendrahadam Sada Basantam Hridayada Binde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitang Namami. Om Namah Shivaya. Bend the coconut, let the kanva fall inside. Om Namah Shambhavaicha Mayo Bhavaicha Namah Shankaraicha Mayaskaraicha Shivaicha Shivtaraicha Om Namah Shivai Om Purnamidaha Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachite Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishite Om Sarvam Vai Purnagwam Swaha. Alright, Achman. Om Sarva Papa Haram Debyam Gangayam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanam Cha Mayadatam Grihitam Purushotama Achmanam Samadpayami Si Brahmagni Devta. Bow, everyone. Si Brahmagni Devta Panchatattva Shantihi.
So devotees, we perform our final Arati now, and as usual, those who will have the desire, as I say, not compulsory, optional, would like to come and perform your Arati, you can do so. As I mentioned, it is optional, not compulsory. Some of our members of our temple usually perform the Arati, and if anyone else would like to do so, you can come up while the Arati is being done, is being sung.
Jai Shiva Omkara, Hare Shiva Omkara.
Jai Shiva Omkara, Hare Shiva Omkara.
Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiv Ardhangedara. O Jai Shiva Omkara, Hare Shiva Omkara.
Jai Shiva Omkara, Hare Shiva Omkara.
Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
Ekananda Chaturanan Panchanan Raje. Ekananda Chaturanan Panchanan Raje. Hansana Garudasana Vrishavahana Saje.
Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
Do bhuja chara chatura bhuja dasa bhuja ati sohe. Do bhuja chara chatura bhuja dasa bhuja ati sohe. Tino rupa nirakata tribhuvana jalamohe.
Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
Akshamala Banamala Rundamala Dhari. Akshamala Banamala Rundamala Dhari. Chandana Mriga Mada Chanda Phale Shubhakari.
Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
Shvetambar Pitambar Bagambar Ange. Shvetambar Pitambar Bagambar Ange. Sanakadik Brahmadik Bhutadik Sange.
Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
Karke Madhya Kamandal Chakra Trishula Dharata. Karke Madhya Kamandal Chakra Trishula Dharata. Jaga Karata Jaga Bharata Jaga Sanhar Karata.
Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
Brahma Vishnu Sadashiv Janata Aviveka. Brahma Vishnu Sadashiv Janata Aviveka. Pranavakshara Madhye Yetino Eka.
Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
Brahma Vishnu Sadashiv Janata Aviveka. Tribhuvan त्रिगुण स्वामी जी की आरती जो कोई नर गावे. त्रिगुण स्वामी जी की आरती जो कोई नर गावे. कहत शिवानंद स्वामी सुख संपत्ति पावे. ओम हर 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 महादेव. 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 हे शिव शंकर नमामि शंकर शिव शंकर शंभु.
हे शिव शंकर नमामि शंकर
Shiva Shankar Namami Shankar Shiva Shankar Shambhu.
He Shiva Shankar Namami Shankar Shiva Shankar Shambho.
He Girijapati Bhavani Shankar
Bhavani Shankar Bhavani Shankar.
He Girijapati Bhavani Shankar
Bhavani Shankar Bhavani Shankar.
Bhavani Shankar Bhavani Shankar
Bhavani Shankar Bhavani Shankar.
He Girijapati Bhavani Shankar
Bhavani Shankar Bhavani Shankar.
Shiva Shankar Shambhu. Shiva Shankar Shambhu. Shiva Shankar Shambhu. He Shiva Shankar, He Shiva Shankar, He Shiva Shankar, Namami Shankar, Namami Shankar, Namami Shankar, He Shiva Shankar, Namami Shankar, Shiva Shankar Shambhu.
He Shiva Shankar Namami Shankar Shiva Shankar Shambho.
Shiva Shankar Shambhu.
Shiva Shankar Shambho.
Shiva Shankar Shambhu.
Shiva Shankar Shambho.
Jai Shiva Omkara, Jai Jai Hare Shiva Omkara.
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 Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva.
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 Hara 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 Mahadeva.
Hara 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 Mahadeva.
Shiva 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 Sada Shiva.
Shiva 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 Sada Shiva.
Hara Shiva Shiva Hara Mahadeva.
Hare Shiva Shiva Hara Mahadeva.
Jai Shiva Omkara, Jai Jai Hare Shiva Omkara.
Jai Shiva Omkara, Jai Jai Hare Shiva Omkara.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
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 Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
So take flowers, we join in closing prayer. Shiva Hare Shiva Rama Sake Prabhu Trivida Tapa Nivarana He Vibhu Aja Janeshwara Yadava Pahi Mam Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam Pratidinam Kushalam Jai Mangalam. Om Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu, Mangalam Garudbhaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha, Mangalaya Tanohari. Om Gachagat Surusresha, Swastani Parameshwara, Yat Brahma Deyo Deva, Statra Kachitasanam. Om Labhas Yesham Jayas Yesham, Kutas Yesham Parajaya, Yesham Mindi Varashamu, Hridayastu Janardanam. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Sadashiv Yat Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadastume. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityodma Amritam Gamaya. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Makashiduk Bhagpavet. Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Bole Sri Gajanan Swami ki Jai. Bole Sri Shakti Jagadamba Mata ki Jai. Bole Sri Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Bole Sri Satnarayan Surajanayan Swami ki Jai. Bole Sri Panchadevta ki Jai. Bole Sri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. Bole Sri Swaha Mata ki Jai. Offer your flowers.
So devotees, once again let me say special blessings to each and every one of you who found the time to be here this evening to join with Errol as he celebrates his 75th birthday. And I asked him if he wanted to say anything. He said no. And I wouldn't tell you what he said afterwards. But I will say on his behalf, on behalf of Bernadette and members of the family, right, Errol, I'm sure you want to say thanks to every one of them for being here this evening, right? Yes. All the pundits, Mr. Rudy in nursing for being here, members of the extended family, and also special blessings to those of you who expressed yourself in such a very beautiful way towards Errol. I think it's, I wouldn't say it's deserving, but it's what is reality. So I think he deserves a round of applause. Everybody, round of applause to Errol. And once again, we say happy birthday to you. And we pray that Lord and Master continue to bless you and guide you as you go through the course of life. And this evening, I want to say a special word of blessings to our young trainee Pundit, our Vyas for this evening, Pundit Keshav Nanishwar Maharaj, my eldest son, who at this point in time, he is a first year, second semester student at the University of the West Indies, pursuing double major in physics and computer science. And, it's just to make mention, I'm not saying it because I'm his father, but is this what we have grown up to understand from Paramacharyaji or Pitaji, that our scriptures, Mr. Rudy, is not a storybook. Our scriptures are based full of philosophy, full of metaphysics. What we have done this evening is in a metaphysical way, in a deep way, in an Itihasic way, express the true meaning as such of Bhagwan Shankar. And everything that he said there's a lot more to it. But the point about it, this is the direction that we like our young pundits to go, our leaders. That if you go, anybody can read the story. But if you can understand the philosophy and the metaphysical aspect of all our forms of divinity to ourselves, then become better people. So to Keshav, as your father, I say special blessings to you. And one of the proudest moments in my life, I always say this, is when I have to play tabla for both of them. Those of you know I love playing tabla for Paramacharyaji. My father, I played tabla for over 30-something years. But this supersedes everything. I always wished for the day when I could have sons that I can play tabla for them, and it happened. All that is through the grace of the divine. So, I say special blessing to you, and, this is a proud moment for me. And those of you, he is my main tabla player. Whenever I have to go anywhere, he is the one that plays tabla for me. I know we have developed a very good bond, not only as father and son, but as musicians also. He understands me, I understand him. Well, most of the time. He understands me more than I understand him. But the point about it is that special blessings to you. And all we can do is pray that Saraswati Mata, Bhagwan Shankar, continue to bless you and guide you as you go through. As I always say, you're going good, but you could always go better, all of us. So continue making your effort, continue making your sacrifices. I know, and you have presented a very beautiful kata for this evening. And tomorrow we'll listen to my other son, my younger son, young Pundit Munivar Maharaj, who will be rendering his discourse for us tomorrow. So come out and listen to him. These two young Pundits, trainee Pundits, that will be the future leaders of our country. So all in all, blessings to all of you. And Bernadette has, with her own hands, Well, I think she can't do it in anybody else's hand. But with her own hand, she has prepared meals for everyone. And you ask to kindly remain and partake of some before leaving. And as yesterday we did, we asked you all to give us a few moments. The fellas will fix the table in the middle here. For us to have meals, you can line up there, get your meals, etc. Come and enjoy a meal. Okay, Tara and Sharada. Three of them in crime together. Tara, Sharada, and Bernadette. You say, Teen Tikat Mahabikat. I will explain that next day. And Renal and Hanuman. So blessings to all of you for making sure that today's celebration for Errol was one of success. So blessings, and come out tomorrow as we continue with our devotion Saturday and Sunday around 7:30 or so. We'll begin at our Havan and have prasad offering, and we'll make to midnight. On midnight, we'll make our offering of Jaltira Lingam. So blessings to all of you, and look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Okay, stand up. Sakal Panch, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram. Thank you.
Ganapati Bappa Moria.